Okay, so today we're going to install One Stop Performance's new manual chain tensioner for the RZR1000 motor. Here we have our motor removed. You don't have to remove your motor to install this. This is just for clarification purposes. So to show the video, we're going to go ahead and remove our valve cover to start. And so you can kind of see the cams here. Our motor is just wherever right now. We're going to take and have some way to spin the motor by hand. We only ever want to spin the motor in the rotation direction that it spins, so a counterclockwise rotation if you're looking at the motor. So we want to start by just spinning our motor around, and there's going to be one spot where we can find, and there's no pressure on any of the cams. So we're going to look around and we'll see a top dead mark. You can see how it kind of swings around with the cams as they get loaded and unloaded. So now we're going to keep looking around until we find that spot right there where you can see we're past top dead center on this hole, and our cams are basically our mag or PTO cylinder. The intake is pointing up towards us, towards the oil fill hole here. So now we can see here you have this cylinder, the cams or the valves are shut, this cylinder, the valves are shut, this cylinder shut, and this cylinder shut. So now there's no tension on our cams. When it's in this point, we can go ahead and take our stock tensioner out. So with the stock one taken out, you want to be careful to keep the gasket, because you're going to have to reinstall that on the new part. And now we're going to take our new part here, which we have basically the body, the presser, and the manual tensioner. So the gasket is going to go right back over just like the stock one. And then we're going to go ahead and grease up this post before we put it in, so that way everything stays good. And we're going to go ahead and install this into the motor first with the pusher in, make sure everything's nice and smooth. So we'll go ahead and just install this. And it's not a bad idea to put some blue Loctite on these threads also, just to make sure nothing loosens up. So now we'll take and we'll put a wrench on. So now we tighten this up with some channel locks or a big wrench. So now this is good and tight. So we're going to take our tensioner here and we're going to go ahead and install the gasket. And make sure you line it up, because there is a way it goes, and as you can see there's an up and a down. So basically how we install this tensioner is the up needs to face the logo on the part. If those two are matched up, it doesn't matter where the logo is at around, as long as up is matching the logo, it'll go right in. So now as you can see it's pushed out, so what we got to do is take a tiny screwdriver and we're going to go ahead and just twist in clockwise to tighten, to screw the tensioner in. And then we're going to go ahead and just install it, just like so, holding the screw. And now we'll just go ahead and start our bolts. Okay, once the first bolt started, we can lightly let go pressure. Now we'll go ahead and start the next bolt. And make sure the gasket's there. And go ahead and tighten that up. Okay, so now with our tensioner installed, we want to just make sure that we're tightened all the way to the top and we have tension back on the chain. So you can just take your thumb and pull on it. As you can see, there's really no slack in it, so we know we're doing good there. So now we'll just go ahead and reinstall the plug that's given with the copper washer. Tighten that up. And now we'll just go through and we'll slowly roll our motor in a normal direction to ensure that we have everything back on. And when we do it slowly this time, we can go ahead and check for top dead and ensure that everything is lined up still. So we're going to go slow here. And this is going to be top dead on exhaust, so we'll go back. And now we should be coming up to top dead on intake. Right there. So as you can see, that mark right there is our top dead center indicator. And then we can go ahead and look at our cams. And as you see, that line is marked with here, and our exhaust is lined up here, and our intake is lined up here. So we know we haven't jumped cam timing. So now with all of that good, we can go ahead and just roll the motor one more time over a full rotation to ensure that we're not going to have any interference issues. And as you can see now, the motor rolls a lot. Okay, as you can see now, as we roll our motor, it doesn't buck or skip the valves like it was before. With the oil pressure tensioner, with the ratchet style tensioner, it keeps constant tension on it, and you don't have to adjust it ever. So this motor is good to go.
Okay, so is there a quick, fast way some guys could do it if they wanted to,
Yeah, we don't have to necessarily remove our valve cover, as long as you can look through your oil fill, and then there's only going to be ever one spot where the cams are fully disengaged of the valves, which is going to be when it points up right like that at you. So you can go ahead and just look through your oil fill hole, get your cam up to that point, and then pretty much do everything we just did without removing the valve cover.
At your own risk.
Yes. We recommend you remove the valve cover just so there's no issues, but it can be done either way.
All right, thanks.